do? This is Bob Nolan and all the sons of the pioneers. You know, it's a wonder to me that Pat Brady didn't wind up in a circus. He's just about the nearest thing to a walking circus you'll ever see. His clothes fit him like a tent. He walks like an elephant in a parade. And his face would scare wild animals. Outside of that, he's a sideshow in himself. And since he wound up as our pioneer of comedy instead of being in a circus, I guess it's kind of natural when our boy Pat sings out with The Man on the Flying Trapeze.
Once I was happy, but now I'm forlorn, like an old coat that is tattered and torn, left in this wide world to weep and to mourn, betrayed by a girl in her teens. Now this maid that I loved, she was handsome, and I tried all I knew her to please. But I never could please her 1/4 so well as the man on the flying trapeze. Oh, he floats through the air with the greatest of ease. The daring young man on the flying trapeze. His movements are graceful, all girls he does please, and the love is purloined away. One night, as usual, I went to her home. I found her mother and father alone. I asked for my love, and soon was made known that to my horror that she'd run away. She'd packed up her duds and eloped in the night with him of the greatest of ease. From 2 stories high, he had lowered her down to the ground on the flying trapeze. Oh, he floats through the air with the greatest of ease. The daring young man on the flying trapeze. His movements are graceful, all girls he does please, and the love is purloined
And that's Pat Brady.
Yeah, but Bob, I sure resent them remarks you made about me walking like an elephant.
You mean you don't walk like an elephant, Pat?
No, you never saw me carrying my trunk around with me, did you? I just carry my valise.
Oh, after that, there isn't much I can say, except to present our singing whistler of the West, Ken Carson, and Desert Serenade.
When you hear a lonely wailing that a whining coyote made, and the wildcat whines and shivers up your spine, that's the desert serenade. It's a lonely trail we're riding, through cactus and through sage, but I sing a song as Pinto jogs along. It's the desert serenade. Riding across the moonlit ranges with a heart that's tired and blue, my pony's knicker says he's hungry, so our work is nearly through. And so when you go a-riding, don't you ever be afraid, 'cause it's just the wind settling down to rest. It's the desert serenade. It's the desert serenade.
Thank you, Kenny. Very nice. And that's one of Kenny's own numbers, in case you didn't know. And now, a message from our sponsor. There's a Western ballad that Tim Spencer wrote that has always been a favorite with our listeners. We have a special request for it, so here's Lloyd Perryman and the Pioneers Trio to present it. All because of you.
Now roses bloom out on the barren wasteland and the plain, all because of you.
Alone and blue I used to ride the barren plain so big and wide. Then all at once there came a change. The wasteland turned to paradise when suddenly I realized a dream come true, for you were by my side.
Now roses bloom out on the barren wasteland and the plain, all because of you. The Scion wind that once were lonely now are love's refrain, all because of you. Every trail I know and travel on seems so lonely when you're not alone. When you're near, the bluebirds sing their springtime mating song, all because of
All because of you. Well song, Tim. Very
Thank
nice.
you. Well, Bob, I'm sorry I can't write any of those classic titles like Foghorn here.
Tim, don't be discouraged by Foghorn's competition. He just puts the whole song up in his title. And by the way, Foghorn, have you got another one for us?
Why, sure. We're going to play one now. I call it the Don't Slam the Cash Register on My Fingers, Mama. I was just looking for the keys to the car, and anyway, I only took 4 bits. Blues.
And now, before our Song of the West, a message from our sponsors. We've been making pictures with Roy Rogers for quite a few years now. Most of you know that Roy used to be one of our pioneers, and it's still a lot of satisfaction and pleasure to work with him. Roy's as Western as an old sombrero, and he knows the West like a book. One of the best songs Roy ever wrote was about a trip we all made to Texas, and he calls it Down Along the Sleepy Rio Grande.
I'd like to be a-riding over the plains tonight, down along the sleepy Rio Grande, and see the lazy cattle in the pale moonlight as they gallop o'er the sand, where the stars light up the trail that leads the way to home. Tumbleweeds are rolling over every sandy dome. I'd like to be a-riding over the plains tonight, down along the sleepy Rio Grande.
I ride along dreaming of the western plains and the days I spent along the Rio Grande. Dreaming of my saddle days and the pony I used to ride as I guard the herds that wore the bark grass.
I'd like to be a-riding over the plains tonight, down along the sleepy Rio Grande, and see the lazy cattle in the pale moonlight as I gallop o'er the sand, where the stars light up the trail that leads the way to home. Tumbleweeds are rolling over every sandy dome. I'd like to be a-riding over the plains tonight, down along the sleepy Rio Grande, down along the sleepy Rio Grande.
This is Bob Nolan signing off for all the sons of the pioneers.
We'll see
Be with us again, won't you? Foghorn's going to sing Honey Child, and our Song of the West will be Nat Vincent's When the Bloom is on the Sage. So long now.